Hey guys, it's Fida and today we're going to be making meatball pizza. It's not exactly a pizza but kind of like it. We have a very basic pizza crust which I'll be showing you how to make the dough. Then I'll also be showing you how to make the meatballs. After that we're going to use cheese just like a normal pizza. We're just going to top it out with some pizza sauce, cheese, keep the meatballs, a few onion rings, capsicums, and then fold it like this. And this is what the end product is gonna be. The meatballs are very flavorful and delicious. If you want, you can just go ahead and use store-bought ready-made pizza crust. But instead of that, I'll be showing you how to make it, which is super simple. So without any further ado, let's get on to making it. First here, I've taken a large mixing bowl in which I've taken 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Let's add in the salt, baking powder and baking soda. So as you can see, for this pizza crust recipe, I'm not using yeast. I'm using baking powder and baking soda. But if you want to use yeast, I'll leave a link in the description down below to my previous pizza recipe. Then into it, let's pour in 2 tablespoons of oil along with half a cup of yogurt. Make sure to use very thick yogurt. Then use your hands and bring it to a very thick and lurchy consistency like this. After that, pour in water as much as required to mix the dough together and bring it to a really nice and smooth dough. You need to make sure that the dough is really nice and soft. The more soft the dough is, the better and softer the pizza crust is gonna be. So once you've poured in enough water, you need to knead this dough. So just use your hands and knead it for a while, and after kneading, you'll see that dough will start coming really soft and smooth. And now I've kneaded this dough for around 5 minutes. It's come to a really nice and soft consistency. I'm going to set that aside for resting. Just pour some oil into your bowl so that the dough doesn't stick. Spread the oil all over the dough and then you can cover it and rest it for 2 hours. Set that aside for 2 hours and meanwhile we can make the meatballs. Here I've taken my food processor into which we're going to add in all of the ingredients and mix together. I've taken 450 grams of chicken. You don't need minced chicken, just normal chicken will do fine. Into it I've added in some coriander leaves, ginger garlic paste, cumin powder, coriander powder, red chili powder, and if you're using Kashmiri red chili it's always better because it's going to give a bit more of a color. Add in some garam masala and salt as per taste. Next, I'm just going to crack in 1 egg along with half a cup of breadcrumbs. The amount of breadcrumbs will differ according to the water content in your mixture. So if you think that your mixture is still pretty sticky even after processing, then you can add in more breadcrumbs. And here I've just minced it all together and you can see that mine is not sticky anymore. But if you think that yours is sticky, right now you can just add in more breadcrumbs and mix. But mine is a perfect consistency like this, it's not sticking to my hand. So I'm just going to keep the mixture like this and transfer it into a bowl. Next we can begin shaping the meatball mixture. For that, just brush your hands with some oil so that it doesn't stick at all. Then take around 50 grams of the meatball mixture and shape it like this. Each of the balls should be around 50 grams. Do the same thing with the rest of it. And here I've also made a smaller version of the meatballs so I can do it without oven. Then next, you have to fry these meatballs. Also, we're not deep frying it, so you don't need too much oil. Just a very little amount will be more than enough. After one side is nice and golden brown, you can flip it over and cook the other side just in the same way. And after the meatballs are nice and cooked, you can take it out of the oil and keep doing the same thing until all your meatballs are fried. Next here, the dough has rested really well. And you can see that the dough is not double or triple in size. That's because we have replaced the yeast with baking powder. So don't worry if it's not double in size, it's just normal. Next, you're going to dust your pizza pan with some all-purpose flour. It's just so that the dough doesn't stick to the bottom. And keep your dough in between and spread it towards the edges and the sides. You can also use a rolling pin and use anything that can help you to just spread it towards the sides. Now it's done, I've spread it all over the pizza pan. Then you're going to make cuts in the middle. Cut it the way you want, but in the end make sure to get 8 triangles. Also use a knife and extend the cuts a little towards the edges. And there you have it. Next, spread some pizza sauce onto the crust. For this, you're going to spread it only at the ends. You're not going to spread it in the middle. I'm using capsicums and just keeping it on the sides, along with 1 piece of small onion slice. After that, I'm going to keep the meatballs. Just keep it right on top of the capsicum and onion. And just top it off with mozzarella cheese. You can use any sort of cheese that you want. I'm just using mozzarella. Then you're going to lift and extend the triangle towards the edges like this. And continue doing the same thing. Lastly, I'm just going to brush it off with some egg wash. This is just 1 egg yolk which I'm going to brush on top. Then it goes right into a preheated oven of 180 degrees Celsius for around 20 to 25 minutes. When you take it out, just sprinkle the top with some oregano just for an extra flavor. And it's totally ready to be cut and served. You can see how the cheese has melted really well. It's a simple and delicious recipe, a bit of a twist from a normal pizza. And the meatballs are just super delicious and flavorful. So try this recipe out, and if you don't have an oven, don't worry, I'm going to be showing you how to make it without an oven. Next, for making it without an oven, here I've just taken a normal tawa into which I've just spread the dough out. Make a cut right through the middle. And since this tawa is much smaller than the other one, I'm only making 4 triangles. Continue doing the same thing what we did earlier. Just spread pizza sauce on the sides and keep cheese. For this, instead of mozzarella cheese, I'm going to be using different sliced cheese. After that, just do the same thing. Keep the onion, capsicum, meatball. Keep it over the heat on very low flame. Close the lid and cook it for around 8 minutes. And after around 8 minutes, when you lift the top, the dough should be perfectly well cooked. The cheese should all be melted and the pizza should be ready. Just like we did earlier, it's totally ready to be cut and served. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also ring that notification bell so that you get notifications every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. Love cooking. Bye bye.